This is Kent Stater TV.
Flashcast. I'm Schofield, and we're going to get into some politics in Ohio and around the country. The Ohio Secretary of State's office has issued new rules for returning ballots at drop boxes. The changes affect people who drop off absentee ballots on behalf of a relative or someone with a disability. Visit ohiosos.gov for more information. The U.S. Department of Justice announced Tuesday it would monitor federal voting rights laws during the election process in Portage County. A now-deleted Facebook post from Country Sheriff Bruce Zakowski encouraged residents to write down the addresses of those who support Kamala Harris. In response, the Ravenna Police Department will also be providing security for the Board of Elections. Concerns of voter intimidation remain in this developing story. President Joe Biden has approved another $4.5 billion in student debt relief. This latest wave impacts around 60,000 public workers, including teachers, nurses, and firefighters. The borrowers qualify through the Public Service Loan Program, which was created nearly 2 decades ago. Since taking office, Biden has canceled more than $175 billion of debt for about 5 million people. A judge in Georgia has ruled that new election rules for the battleground state are unconstitutional. The rules include 2 that would require officials to conduct a reasonable inquiry into election results. Fulton County Superior Court Judge Thomas Cox wrote, quote, "The court here declares that these rules are unconstitutional. Georgia's 16 electoral votes are a must-win for either candidate." Politics influences pop culture more than people think. Our own Talia Milewich has more.
Thanks, Evan. As the election gets closer, dating apps are strategizing by matching users based on political beliefs and voting plans. Last month, Tinder introduced profile stickers for users to share their plans for voting in the election and which issues are important to them. The most used stickers include, quote, "Hot people vote, I'm voting," and "Voting for reproductive rights." Meanwhile, OkCupid added a dozen new matching questions focused on voter behavior. These questions shift away from the app's previous questions, which were more policy and candidate focused. Panda Mania is back in Washington, D.C. 2 3-year-old giant pandas complete their journey from Southwest China to the U.S. Capitol.
Pandamania is back in Washington, D.C. 2 3-year-old giant pandas completing their journey from Southwest China to the American Capitol.
Pandas are one of China's most powerful tools in their projection of soft power.
Tuesday's touchdown of the Panda Express marking a rare bright spot between the U.S. and China. Tensions over trade, technology, geopolitics, and more leading to fraught relations.
China is the biggest threat confronting this country.
And I will make sure that America, not China, wins the competition for the 21st century.
Enter Bao Li and Qing Bao and panda diplomacy.
Even though there's a pretense on both sides that this is just about conservation, ultimately the underlying subtext is, only China in the whole world has pandas. And so if the relationship is good, China will share their pandas with us.
Professor Judith Shapiro says pandas have long been used by China to project soft power, or an image of itself on the international stage that is favorable and can build goodwill. U.S. President Richard Nixon's ice-breaking trip in the 1970s to communist China during the Cold War eventually led to pandas arriving in D.C. Now, decades later, the bear's return could be the beginning of a new chapter in the rival superpowers relationship.
In Washington, D.C., pandas have become almost a symbol of the city. This is clearly a very smart move on the part of the Chinese to bring these pandas back.
Before we end our show, Kent Stater TV wants to hear from you.
The Kent Stater has launched an anonymous survey on the 2024 presidential election to hear about the election from undergraduate students.
To be qualified, all students must be registered to vote in the state of Ohio.
To take the survey, go to kentwired.com and search up the 2024 election poll.
That's all the latest updates from the nation's capital in Ohio.
For all these updates and more, be sure to check out Kent Wired. I'm Talia Milewich.
And I'm Evan Schofield. Have a good day, Portage County.